Hello. Hello. I know what you're thinking, but Patrick, if you're so tired, why are you live? I don't know. It's Rasmus Eve. Oh, excuse me. Hey, Willow Pillow, how are you? Whew, I'm so tired. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Willow Pillow. It's almost crazy that it's almost October. We're almost in the last 3 months of the year. 2021 just flew. Hey Skywalkeress, how are you doing? I feel like I should grab the runes. The runes. Oh, I'm tired. But I will not let this Rasmus Eve go without pulling a few chords. And I'll do the raw runes. My little raw rune deck. Oop, oop, and I oop, and you oop, and we oop. Hey, Holly. And they oop. When I oop, you oop, just like that. Let me stop. Excuse me. Eve! Hi, Eve. Glad to hear it. Excuse me. Oh, I actually wanted to rake 2 rooms, but I was also gonna since it's Rasmus Eve, I wanted to. You've been speaking Yanish all day. I wanted to do a Zodiac, the next Zodiac room reading, but you know what? I'm gonna go through the Zodiacs. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shuffle the deck, and then I'm gonna go through the Zodiac, and I'm gonna pull the top and the bottom card off of them, and then I'm just gonna say something, and then I'll call it a successful Rasmus Eve, and then I'll go to sleep. Excuse me. My day, I had an interesting day today. It ended a lot more interesting than it began. um, he did. He looked adorable. One second. I don't think he put the picture of the sandals he got on Instagram. Or did he? I don't know. I don't know. I was like, that's a whole vibe. I like it. Okay. So I'll give it 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, last one. They're face down. So Aries has Kinlagu or Kinlagu, Kin and Lagu, Torch Divine Spark, Lagoon Cosmic Ocean. Excuse me. Thank you. This is interesting. This reminds me of Malachi Dial, the angel of Aries, when it was talking about how sometimes when that urge to do something arises and we don't know where it comes from, like something new, but there's a fluidity here as well. Cosmic Ocean and Divine Spark. I instantly regret this. It's an energy. It feels like it's like swimming in it or soaking in it. You're soaking in it. And just like cosmic, not well, maybe like potential. And so I would say like it's probably a good time to start something new or to be carried by like your passions or something like that. Good time for Aries to flow. Um, and it seems like there's a lot of magic that lies in wait. Just like synchronicity or things just like working out, like really good days, chance encounters. It's like stuff like that. It's stuff like this or like that. So Taurus has Gathering Bjork. The Gathering Bjork. Gathering Dock began in Poplar Tree. 64 and 18. That's a 10 and a 9. A 10 and a 9 is interesting. It's the beginning of a countdown. There's almost a synergy around New Year's because that's when the North Node will shift into Taurus. Is like something is happening and transpiring in a way that Taurus doesn't even necessarily understand. But it feels like there's something about what Taurus is doing now or what Taurus is gonna do that's like the beginning of like a whole bunch of stuff. It's almost like I can't believe I started here, or I can't believe I started by doing this. I can't believe that like I met this one person and then everything changed. Like something very interesting is starting and beginning for Taurus right now. Maybe some ship coming in too, like a Three of Wands energy, but instead of waiting, it's like arriving. So I guess be ready for takeoff. Be ready to start something new. Be open. Gemini's got man and Feo, the wealthy man. Myself, humankind, and wealth livestock. Gemini. This feels like and it's because of this man card. It feels like Gemini's network of like something within Gemini's network of people is about to like Gemini's network is about to benefit them somehow. Maybe it's like you know somebody who wants to start something, who wants to begin something. Someone's like, "Oh, Gemini's the perfect person for this." Or maybe you want to start something and there's something that you don't necessarily know. And it's like someone in your network, if they can't help you, they can guide you in the right direction. It's what do they call it? It's like social capital. It's an energy of social capital. Where like your network, your friends, your acquaintances, whatever, it brings you some kind of value in some way. This is a well connected energy. Be sure though that it's like things are reciprocated, I guess. Because it's almost like, you don't want to have someone do everything and then you don't like, it's almost like you don't want to not necessarily give someone the wrong idea or a bad impression, but if you're grateful to somebody for something, express it. Because you might have a lot of ideas, you might be going in a lot of different directions, and you might have people who can tolerate it, but or who can go there with you. But it seems that they might, I don't know, they seem different, and so they would probably appreciate you acknowledging all that you're like asking for and showing that appreciation. So, because sometimes it's just nice to be acknowledged. You know what I mean? I don't know. Cancer is coming out with some rough energy. Oh well, was and swelgeness, was swelgeness, was swelgeness. This is some like your past is coming back to bite you type of energy, Cancer. This is a 10 and an 11, 46 and no, it's a 10 10, 46 and 37. This might also be an energy of like there was something that you kind of sort of put off, something on the back burner, and it's gonna grow to the point where you're gonna have to face it. So if you're putting something off, I would say handle it because that's how my day was. There's something I've been putting off because I just like I'm not comfortable with it, and I kind of sort of just hope that I never have to do it. So today everybody left early, and I was by myself, and somebody was like, "Hey, like I'm not feeling well, so I'm gonna leave. Are y'all like, can y'all do this for me?" And I was like, "Yeah," thinking that somebody else would do it, but that person left. Like they started it, and I was like, "Crap," because I had to go and do something else. And let's just say I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow. And I was like, avoiding it and putting it off was not the solution. And I knew it wasn't. Like at first, my approach was to like get more practice. I was like, I want practice doing this because it's the thing I'm the most uncomfortable with. But then, like every time we had something to do, somebody else would do it, and I did it one time. And it's just if you know that something is going to be an issue, Cancer, take care of it Don't wait until there is no other choice or no other option. It only serves to better you. And it's like you go further that way too. By reducing the opportunity for those restrictions or limitations or problems. It's like eliminating problems. It's nipping it in the bud. That's what this is. There's something that you can nip in the bud or something that you should have nipped in the bud, and it's going to be coming back. This doesn't necessarily have to be anything bad, though. This could also be something good. This could be something that, like, you put time into, you invested, you thought it wasn't going to pay out, but then you may all of a sudden one day sort of find out that it did. It's like the energy of a seed that you planted and you watered and stuff, and then like one day it sprouts, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I thought this thing was a dud." Leo, Leo, you are coming. Oh, Leo, you're coming out with 60 and 10. Igashammer and Neath. Helm of Awe, the Will Shield, and Shadow's Nutrients. This feels rough, Leo. I just read you, Leo. What was your thing about? Let me see. I used to put the titles on these sticky notes, but I don't anymore. I think you had a data info. Yeah, Leo, you had a data info. And there was like this energy where like you didn't know what to do like at all. Like I don't even know where to start with this energy. It's almost like Wheel of Fortune, where or like a roulette where it's spinning and it's stopped on a shadow and you're kind of sort of just there for a second. Maybe like there was something that you were going through, like there's something that you were resolving, you were like bringing it to harmony or bringing it to balance with the energy of the 6T. And with the energy of the 10, it feels like it was moving forward, but then something just stopped. And then it feels like the lack, excuse me, it feels like the feeling of a loss of momentum is causing some kind of worry or anxiety or stress. I don't know who had Moon moves into Leo tomorrow. Nice. Who had Iga Shalmer else? Somebody had Iga Shalmer else. I remember saying Iga Shalmer else, but I don't have it on here. It was Sagittarius. Sagittarius had it, and I think the video didn't have any audio. And then I realized like 10 to 15 minutes into the video that it wasn't recording any sound. The shadow of Sagittarius could be being so researched, or it's like needing to know something. And then the shadow of Sagittarius can also be like being really quick to dismiss things that don't align with whatever is already believed. And so for the shadow of Sagittarius to be coming in Leo, I mean, I guess the South Node is in Sagittarius for a little bit longer until the North Node shifts into Taurus. So I guess that's a little bit more collective in a way. It feels like things may be grinding to a halt soon. And again, it feels like Wheel of Fortune, like the show. It's like you want to, it's like hoping that you don't land on like a bankruptcy or lose a turn or whatever. And it feels like to exert force in this situation is to make it even more stagnant. It feels like there's something that has to be like untangled. Because, like, hold it. I don't see my pointing pen. But you can find Neith in Igashomer, right? Oh, wait. Can you? Oh my gosh, you can. What? It's not exact, but you know what I mean? You can find a need in Igashomer. And so it feels like something is like, it's like stuck. So if you move it, then it just like presses those things together and it can't go any further. So something has to be unjammed first before you can move forward. Maybe there's something that you need to talk about. Maybe there's something that needs to be expressed, something that needs to be brought to the light. And Mercury is retrograde, so you know, why not? Mercury is retrograde in Libra. All right, so that was Leo. Virgo. Ooh, Virgo was coming out with the year, the harvest, and needle. You got 12, 12, Virgo. 39, 12, and a natural 12. This is interesting, Virgo. I feel like this is an energy, Virgo. Excuse me. There's an energy around you that's like, how can I make this work for me? How can this benefit me? How can this grow me? How can I like use this to my advantage? And it feels like with a little bit of ingenuity, but see, you had that too in your rune cycle. Virgos was like, wait, oh, darn it, I just saw it. It was Needle Stankness Feo, the Weaver's Magic. And there was this thing where it's like the needle isn't magic, the thread isn't magic. What's magic is the hand that weaves it. And that magic is carrying through here. And maybe it's a transformative, alchemical sort of like, it's almost like maybe the way that you have progressed on your journey, or it's the way that you've become. It's almost like maybe there were situations and circumstances that happened and you transmuted it, you worked it in some kind of way to see like a better result come from a situation than you would have imagined. It's like you've been turning lemons into Sprite lemonade. I'm drinking this lemon lime drink. Hey, Kizzy Cat. I missed your live with Rob. I was at work. I miss everything now. I miss everything. Excuse me. And I was trying to watch it when I was outside waiting for my ride to come, but I didn't have signal. My signal wasn't strong enough. So there's something about Virgo, like, and maybe this is like spinning something into gold, spinning straw into gold with these yellowy golden hues. It was Ace. I missed it. Eve said you were awesome. Yeah, that's this energy. It's like there's something. It feels like you were nervous, Kizzy Cat. No, I think that was Evening Sky. I was like, were you the one that had a channel but deleted it, but we're thinking about maybe making another one? I think that was Steph. Evening Sky, I think. I mean, this is gorgeous, Virgo. It feels like no matter what happens to Virgo, Virgo's coming out with a win. And win is bliss. And it looks like needle, but it's like backwards. It's the flipped needle, I think. There's Steph. Hey, Steph. How you doing? So, Libra. Ooh, Libra. Oh, 67 and 7. This is 13 and 7. Is that 57 or 60? I think it's 67. I've no complaints. Excuse me. I'm just exhausted. You want to go play mermaid now? Go and find the dolphins. Wait, was it a thing? I feel like I missed it. Libra's coming out with Condor and Gifu or Jifu. Cosmic light and a gift. Ulcer and generosity. It's also an XY, which is interesting because that's male. X chromosome, Y chromosome. But it's a Y and then an X. So. I was singing Baby Shark in Walmart yesterday. And then I did this a little bit. I like Baby Shark though. I like the song. A gift of cosmic light. It feels like because the energy of the ulcer is here. And so Libra, I feel like the medicine for the ulcer is to give. It's like to give and receive. That came out maybe in Calling All Retro Heads. It was like, I think it was that one. I think I was with Russ. And it was about the toys. Yeah. Talking about kids and their toys. It's like as you give, as you receive, you give. And so it keeps the lanes clear. Because it feels like if you don't, then that's when you run into like a cholesterol type problem where things start to get backed up. I mean, but a gift of cosmic light, that's gorgeous. Don't know what that's about. I don't know what that's about, but you're getting a gift of cosmic light. I don't know if it'll turn into an ulcer. That's a you thing. This could also be a gift, like if there's an ulcerative shadow. Then maybe this gift of light, it's like it'll come in and it'll break it up. Like if there's a cholesterol like mass in some area of your life where you're finding difficulty flow, like where flow is finding difficulty, maybe something is going to come in and like help break it up so you can experience flow in that area again. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, Libra. Gift of cosmic light. Too bad it's not a 14. If it was a 14, well, you have a 7 and a 13. So maybe you're going to get some 13 frequency, Libra. And then it's going to be about, I feel like, and I can see Libra sort of doing that in a way as well. Maybe it's through virtue of being an air sign. Um, but maybe there's something about like trying to maybe break it down or understand it in a way, but don't get too far into it because then I think that ulcer energy would be like it's an energy that is best explained by experience rather than thinking because it's 13, it's sort of outside of everything that you may know. And so to try to use words that you already know to define something that you don't know is to strip it of some of what it is, because then that's you like putting it in a box, right? But be in the moment of the experience of it and allow the experience of it to elevate you in other ways, to expand your vocabulary rather than you using a restrictive vocabulary to try to define it, if that makes sense. I don't know. Scorpio. Scorpio, you got three. Oh, 16 and 38. This is a 7-11. And then you have 9. So 7, 9, 11. I accidentally pulled two off the top. It's Sigil and Onwardness. Present gateway for Sun Life Force. Scorpio is coming out with a gateway for life force. Come through, Scorpio. Yes. Scorpio said, deep and dark where? Not here. We a portal of sunlight. Hello, Russ. Make sure you pat down, jump in the pool. Did you get a paper fan? You should have got a paper fan. Happy Rustmas Eve, Russ. Happy Rustmas Eve. And then there's hail and weathering and hoggle over here. Hoggle, sigil, onwardness. I feel like weathering, there's an energy of it's like weathering a storm. And finally, it's your birthday already in the UK. Is it really? Yeah, because it's 6. Like barely. Well, I guess more than barely. Because that's 6 hours ahead, so it would be like 12:51. Almost an hour. It's your birthday over there. In Japan, it is like more firmly your birthday. In Australia, even more so. It's like Scorpio was sitting for a while in the space and the day is finally breaking. Day is breaking for Scorpio, and this is gorgeous. And it almost feels like it can be, it's not the necessarily that condyle like where it can turn into an ulcer. Um but it almost feels like it might be a lot. It may be an energy that Scorpio isn't necessarily used to. I mean, but overall, this is gorgeous for Scorpio. It feels like it should be hoggle and then onwardness and then sigil or sigil. Like weathering opens the portal to this life force energy where the life force energy is on the other side. But that's not how it came out. It came out like this. So maybe Scorpio, it's for you to hold light long enough for something to happen. For you to hold belief long enough for something to happen. For you to hold faith or confidence long enough for something to happen. And to not like sell yourself short or give up too soon. Because it can work out like really well for you. And it feels like you've only gotten a piece of what could be. Like it can get so much brighter. And maybe that's the difference between these two. It reminds me of so today in the Farmer's Almanac, the fact was about like bananas curve upward because after a certain point they grow towards the sun. After they mature towards a certain point, then they curve upward as they grow towards the sun. Like they grow like that and then they tilt up towards the sun. And like that's that energy here. It's like in Hagal, it's very much so just like gravity takes over. There's a very sort of natural force here. But in Sigil, it goes against it and then it falls. So there is an energy where it's almost like you're not just gonna passively allow life to just happen to you anymore. Even if you don't necessarily feel like there's much of a difference that you can make, it's almost just like putting in that effort anyway or sustained effort. It really opens the doorway to something. Not falling into the Scorpio slump. And if you're a Scorpio, you know what a Scorpio slump is. I'm a Pisces, so I get it. I get it. But it's like navigating those or not being in those for so long or learning how to manage those. It's just like it's natural that there's a lot more of life that you would get to experience because you're not in that just like downhill place anymore. You can change the momentum when you want to or when you need to. So good on you, Scorpio. Next is Sagittarius. Venus is in Scorpio, I believe. Excuse me. Okay, Sagittarius. 48, which is a 12, and 22. So you got leaf shading. Leaf shading. Leaf shaded ink. Merge B. Leaf shade merge B. Ignite and water meadow. This leaf shade is reminding me of the strength card in the Threads of Fate Oracle cards. How the top of it was like right next to the roots. There is something here. It's interesting. I don't know if this is like merging. This is a wholeness. Because it's like here's the leaf, here's its shadow. But in Ing, like they're merging together. I love that I can do this. Let's see if I can get it. Hold up. I'm feeling less tired now. These like energize me. Let's see. I guess it is like that. But I want to like, there we go. I don't know. Or, let's see. No, because I want it on this. There it is. No, there. There. Almost. Yeah, it's how I had it the first time. It's how I had it the first time. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Oh, that's the four of wands. That's what I guess I'm doing. That's the four of wands in the Wild Unknown Tarot. And Miss Remy Healings said that's the eye witch in that four of wands. Because when you turn it on its side, it's an eye. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with these. Is the leaf holding it up? I didn't even look at it. Reem is a Sagittarius. Hey, Malika. Something is meeting under the shadow of this leaf. You got the same rune today, Ingus. Oh, snap. Oh. So there's something. I don't know if it's unwinding or unraveling or. Because it's like. So in between the leaf and its shadow, right? It's like this middle line is being like. It's being pulled out. Sagittarius, what the freak is this? Oh, snap. Because it feels like there's some kind of. It feels like Sagittarius is creating a Ganunga Gap void in between its layers. But it's like. It's opening up Sagittarius to like. Part of it is like the essence of like the true essence of Sagittarius is like it's gonna pour out from this, but it's also like something is also going to flow in. Yeah, very much that. Um, like a little privacy while it happens. Oh, well, I mean, it could be about the solar eclipse. I'm not sure. I'm trying to like, cause so this is the bounds. These are the bounds. The leaf in its shadow is its bounds. Now we see this energy. This energy is not affected by these bounds. This is an energy, it can permeate right through it. So there is something that is unaffected by this. And so, in that way, these are almost separate because it's almost like ing runs along this parallel. So it can do whatever. But in between these 2 points, it's in between these 2 points. That's the place where both of these energies interact. And when they interact, I'm trying to see what the shape would be. Because I'm envisioning as again, it's like it's pulling this line, but it's like it reaches a point where you stretch it all the way. Maybe it becomes a third line, right? Because hold up 1 second. I wish I could just like turn my. Hold up. There we go. Whew! Had to get my belt off. Because it's like this, right? And then you do that. And as you keep going, it's like it becomes this third. Well, imagine it went like straight, right? Like this. It becomes this third line in between these two lines. But I don't know. It's another parallel. I don't know what that means, though. I don't know. That's a you thing, Sagittarius. That is a you thing. Oh, it's almost like it's because the top and the bottom are fixed. And so what it does is see, because on ing, this is expansive outwards on the top and the bottom. And so it's almost like the light is ever expanding upwards, the dark is ever expanding downward. And there's never, it's like it only increases in separation. But when you pull the pole, what it does is it's like it creates a surface in between the two where they can meet. It's like if you mix water and oil, where you have the water on the bottom and then the oil on top, that place the interface. I think it's an interface, the surface interface. There's some kind of interfacial interaction between something within you, Sagittarius, where it's like it gets different parts of yourself maybe to work together, cooperate, communicate for the first time ever. And it brings you more into maybe a wholer version of you or a more present version of you. And it feels like there's a magic there. Yeah, okay. Whatever that means. I mean, it could be, well, I would say this feels like, um, it feels like I guess a middle path energy would be the easiest way to explain it. Cuz it's like there's the left chakra or the front, and then there's the right or the back, and then there's that middle path. And so it's like there's a light sacral and a dark sacral, but it's more than just the sacral. It's like every point along the body. And I guess it would be Kundalini because it's when they're sort of like wrapping and twisting and turning and rising and elevating and stuff like that. It's like buttoning a shirt. They meet at every point. And so it's like, oh, I had it and then I lost it. It almost feels like Sagittarius is giving birth to itself. Like Sagittarius is coming in with the light and the dark, and they're coming together to give birth to a new Sagittarius. I don't know. Sagittarius. Next is Capricorn. Yes. Capricorn, oof, coming out with wicked crafts. And ain't true. 66 and 38. 66 and 11. Or is that 36? I think I already had 38. I think this is 36. 6636. That's the one not great thing about having these cards so tiny. I was literally thinking, I'm like, Sagittarius, why? Why? Maybe it's because my North Node is in Sagittarius. So the energy stretches me. And so I guess I got to get more scientific to try to understand it. Wicked Craft and Hang True. And look at the colors. Oh, goodness. The numbers will change after 33. Witchcraft, Sorcery, Elder, Hang True, and Gallows. I mean, besides an obvious, I'm not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. Maybe there's some past lifey like trauma that Capricorn is dealing through. Like Capricorn could be like, well, last time I was in this much or that much, whatever, it didn't end well for me. Which is interesting because I don't typically view Capricorn as a sign that struggles with like authenticity or standing in their power or owning their voice. But I guess I also don't see Capricorn being the most vulnerable either. Capricorn, I don't know. Russ says that you're hanging out in the field of witchcraft, and that's where I'll leave this because I don't know if a door is like being shut on me or if I'm just like, I don't even want to go there. No, Eve, keep going. And then when they get changed, just make a new set. I'm just playing. Yeah. I feel like this set energy again, though. It's like Capricorn has a depth to it that I don't know if Capricorn is necessarily explored. Because it feels like everything, it feels like this Wicked Crafts is below the surface for Capricorn. Because the lightest blue is like the surface of the water and it's still. Like for this to be this still, it feels like this is something that you don't even want to touch. Or it's something that yet remains untouched. Like all that, it feels like it's all below the surface for you. Oh, gotcha. The first 33 are set and the others are random. The first 33 have been locked. So wait, is it the first 33 that you have that got set, or is it the first 33 in the set? I'm assuming it's the first 33 in the set are going to retain their numbers, and everything after that is fluid and flexible and mutable. So here's 34 and 35. I'm kidding. Yeah, Capricorn, I don't know. You on your own. Capricorn, the answers lie within you, not over here. Aquarius, Waterfall, and Calc. Oops, 34 and 42. There's immediately, it's an energy of a broken mirror for Aquarius. Because it feels like it was supposed to be 34-43, but but it got chipped, and so instead of 43, you got 42. Aquarius, there's something here about not being able to hold water. Okay, so the first 24 are the Elder Futhark. Then the 25 to 33 are the additional Anglo Saxon Futhark. Gotcha. All others are the Lost Runes and so not fully set. 34 is the first one after the official whatever. After I just tried to remake something else, 34. These are now 35 and 36, or 36 and 37. There's an energy here, Aquarius, of a very fine crack. It's almost so fine that you don't notice it, but if you feel water on the, I don't know why it's like a vase, a vase, a vessel. It's like you can only tell it's cracked because of the water that you feel on the outside. But if you inspect it, I don't know if you'll still be able to find it. So it's something that has to be found with feeling rather than with sight. And these are two almost conflicting energies because one is anchored and the other one is soluble. Anchored feels insoluble, it feels like something that won't dissolve. If this is something that won't dissolve, that's your vessel. That's what you hold water in. Because now it's like you can put water in the thing and the thing won't break down, but you can break other things down in the water. And water is really, 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 really good at breaking stuff down. It's the universal solvent. It dissolves so many things. I read that they were trying to recreate Roman cement and they could never do it. And you have mortar here, which is interesting. They could never do it. It's like we followed the recipes and they weren't like in Rome, the only water that they had was salt water, but they weren't using salt water because the recipe didn't call for salt water. The recipe just said water, so they used water. But the only water that they had in Rome was salt water. So, and then when they use the salt water, they're like, "Oh my gosh, the recipe works." The community room, uh, that's yeah, you were asking me something. I don't remember. I don't know what this is, Aquarius. It feels like stumbling upon. I was gonna be like, that's a Russell question. And then I was like, oh, Russell's here to answer it. Well, let me flip through. I'll flip through. I'm cheating, Pisces. Oh, Pisces, I see what you get. You don't get to see it. But I'm a Pisces, and no, I don't have any other Pisces that watch me. So I'm just, it's number 71. Is that Sunshade? Sunstead? Or Sunsteady? Sunsteed? 71. It's like you come upon something that doesn't dissolve, Aquarius, but it's like the fact that it doesn't dissolve, like it has a use, it has a purpose. This could also be an energy of, um, oh, you're a Pisces moon. Not today. I'm just playing. I'm kidding. It's an energy of like it's Sunstita. Sunstita. Oh, I'm so glad I don't have a Pisces moon. Having a Pisces sun is enough for me. I have a friend who's a Pisces sun and moon, and I don't know how she does it. Mm-mm. If you have a Pisces moon, I like. I'm glad I have a Taurus moon because I can't. I can't. There's an energy here. It's almost like discovering yourself in a way. It's like the and it's I feel like it's well, you are a fixed sign. I was gonna say I feel like it's different than being fixed. It's like it's like when you find that part of you that can't be compromised, then it's like you know that you've hit a wall. It's like you found a truth. And maybe it's this energy where you're navigating something blindly And so you keep going until you hit a wall, until you hit something solid. And it's interesting because it almost reads like Sagittarius in the bounds, but for you, it's like you're discovering the bounds of something. It's like you're trying to create a map of it from inside of it rather than from outside. And it doesn't feel like a maze necessarily. Excuse me. I wonder if I can overlay these. Now I'm going to be like trying to do this every single time I use these. Or would it be this? See, yeah. Well, that's the thing, Aquarius. You only get one side. I don't know if you can see that. You only fall on one side. This whole side, like all the water is cascading down this side. But this whole side is left unexplored. This is a wall that I don't necessarily know. I don't necessarily know. I just tried to pull a rune from the middle of the deck to get some help, but I got God mouth. Number four. Hey, Eve, you said four. There's a four. 34, 42. I guess what 34 and 42 both have in common is the number four. 34, 42. And again, it's like I said, it's like a mirror is chipped because it was supposed to be 44, 43, but somehow you got the two instead of the three. So it's not completely mirrored. But then the thing in the middle, the four, just came out. And the four, it's this thing that they both share. They all share this, right? See, in this one, it goes down, but then it comes back up. There you go. See, it comes back up. It doesn't go all the way down. First of all, my arms are getting warm. Hey, Teresa. But it feels like this mortar won't dissolve. Like it's waterproof, or it is the element of water. It does remind me, though, yesterday, the Farmer's Almanac, I was going to do a reading about it. It was a joke. It's when is a wall like a fish? I'll see if you get the answer. I'll give you a second to think about it. If you're watching this back, you can pause it. If you're alive, you can still pause it. When is a wall like a fish? Maybe that's what this is for Aquarius. A wall is like a fish when it is scaled. And so it's almost like a trout energy. where the trout, they go like upstream and you'll see them like jump out of the water. And then, so maybe that's it. Maybe you have to jump out of the water and then like get over this hump and then you go back in the water. Because I don't think it's dissolved. I don't think it's meant to dissolve either. Yeah. Yeah, Russ, you got it. When it is scaled. Which is it salmon? Maybe it is salmon. I'm just pulling some cards through the zodiac, Teresa. I'm on Aquarius now. The Aquarius, you're an air sign though. So you know what I mean? It's almost like you have to go out of your element to get back in it. Or maybe you don't go back into your element. Maybe there's a different element on the other side. By the Pisces. Pisces said no. See, but it's like if you hit a wall, so maybe Aquarius is searching for the opening. Because if you hit a wall, it's the jug, it's the vessel. And it's not supposed to, if the vessel dissolved, then the water would eat through it and, water would go everywhere. So it's not designed to break down. It's actually designed to not break down. And so there should be a place where you can escape. Unless it's not time for the water to flow yet. And there is something a little open sesame about this. Like God mouth energy, it's coming out with like, if you command the door to open, it shall be opened. But I don't know if you can necessarily command it. I have no clue. It might be time gated. See, because that's the thing with this calc. It's like all this light, and it takes one thin line of shadow to just like. But that might also be the mirror. So there's this energy. Maybe it's like a fish trapped in a glass bowl. But it's almost like if you go up to it, you would see that it continues. But maybe that's why like it doesn't dissolve. Because what you're seeing beyond it is actually behind you. Like this is a mirror. That's why there is no more. Maybe. I don't know. Aquarius, I'm about to move on. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I mean, I can try to pull one more rune to see if it'll help me, but is this 69? I can see this being number 69 because of Cancer. And it's more blues. It's Kusma, Moon, Deflections. This almost reminds me of the banana again, though. Let's see. Because it curves upward instead of it going down. But Kusma actually does both. It goes up and down. Os goes up and down. It goes down first and then it goes up. I literally just got like the moon rune. See, because it feels like it is a mirror, but then it feels like it isn't. Well, I guess that goes back to the energy of like Godmouth opening the wall or uncapping the jug, right? But it almost feels like it might be this point where a mirror becomes a portal. But when the it's like when the mirror is a portal, everything is like reversed. Maybe. The new moon is a mirror, it's Libra balance. Just like Sagittarius. No, that was Capricorn. Just like Capricorn, I'm like, I feel like I hit a wall. Saturn is giving me walls. Maybe I'm too close to my Saturn return. Saturn is like, nope. Like, I'm not going to give out any spoilers for when you hit this return, pal. But there is, it's like, it's how you interact with it, it's how you engage with it. 69 is a 15. As you say that they reverse direction and face forwards again to go direct, it feels like there's a part of them that continues retrograde. I feel like I'm about to get trapped in some kind of weird mirror world thing, trying to navigate Aquarian energy. Maybe if you ask the big fish nicely, it'll just swim away and you can escape your little jug. Was that Capricorn? No, I think it was it was you, Aquarius. You were the one that it's this energy. It was like if you just look at it, you're not gonna find the crack. You have to feel it. You can only tell it's cracked because of the water that you feel outside of the jug. Like it's such a fine line. It's almost like it's such a fine line that you could go your whole life and never even notice. Like maybe, all right, see you later, Russ. Russ. You did the Christmas hearts. Oh, it's a Christmas Eve miracle. It's like it's something that could like, oh, like I overfilled it, or it's condensation, or blah blah blah. And it's like, no, your jug is cracked. That's why water always pools. But it feels like it does it so slowly that you might not even notice. So this could be it's just a space of something that's so easily misover. It's like it's so easily overlooked that you spend however long I've spent on Aquarius trying to figure this out. And it literally almost goes back to the first message. It's like if you just look for the crack, you're not going to find it. You have to feel for it. But I don't know. Like on the outside, you could feel where it's wet. On the inside, I don't know the difference you'd feel. I don't know. That's what I got, Aquarius. You might have to feel your way. I don't know if, well, I would say I don't know if logicking would help you, but I feel like, that is logic. Like if my vase is cracked and I can't see it, then just find where the water is leaking, right? And then I'll tell you where the crack is. I don't know. Pisces seeps. Yes, that's the word. That is the word. Teresa. Pisces, you got ripen number 50 and Flusa 57. This is interesting. It almost feels Ouroboros. It feels like these lines go down, but then they like wrap back around or something. I don't know. Flow, first blood, ripen and mature. Oh, maybe it's just a maturing energy, right? When girls mature, they shed first blood, and that's literally Flusa. So Pisces, you're becoming a woman. You have reached, well, oh, kids shouldn't necessarily have kids, but it's like you're reaching, it's almost like regardless of if you are mentally or emotionally or intellectually developed or not, physiologically, your body can now do stuff that you may not even necessarily know about. It's like Pisces just got their first period or something. Excuse me. Oh, I'm ready for bed. Ripen, mature, flow first blood. It's interesting. It makes me think of Kanefa. And I actually saw Kanefa when I was looking for the community room. Sunstida or Sunstide. Sunstida. It's almost like it's shedding blood, but it's like you can shed and then bleed because you're shedding, or you can bleed something else. And I guess it's like there's more than one way to shed blood. And I guess some people thought, well, if I shed this kind of blood, then maybe it'll give me this whatever ripe and mature, whatever. I don't know. It's like, nah, I don't know what this is. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces is just like it started with Sagittarius. But Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, I'm just like, wait. See, maybe because I'm looking at Flissa and it looks blocked. Like the line is permitting entry into this. So it's like while you are like biologically capable of whatever, it shouldn't be done just yet. Because there's maturation that hasn't happened in other areas. So just because you can Pisces doesn't necessarily mean that you should. Or it doesn't feel like Pisces is having an initiation. It feels like Pisces is like, what's the opposite of an initiation? Because it's like it's blocked. It's like no entry permitted. Because again, it's this energy where it's like the physical body has matured, yeah, but the other ones haven't. Like mentally, emotionally, energetically, none of that's matured. It's almost like Pisces has become, and maybe this is a remnant of the age of Pisces. It's like Pisces has projected itself somewhere that it is not. And I feel like it's sort of the nature of spirituality in general, right? With all the mind over matter, with all of the affirmations and stuff like that, it's like we try so hard to like spiritually fix our lives, but then it's like it's leading spiritually, but it's lagging in every other area of life. It's lagging in every other sense. And Flissa needs, like, it needs a complete maturity, not just partial maturity. There's also like, this is also almost IO, like input output. And so maybe in input output, it's like this is the input, but there's no output because the input isn't being received. It's like it's hitting this wall and being blocked. Unlike leaf shade, where it goes through. There are a few cards where they go through. Like in leaf shade, you can see that it hits the wall and it continues. But here it's being blocked. And because it's being blocked, something isn't being received. There's no output. Again, it's like it's trying to force maturity in one area to get an output, but it's immature in other areas. So it ain't gonna work. Now, depending on the type of person, like that's when we can like get jealous or upset or like whatever. We can start to look at how everything else is working for everyone else. But then it's this energy where it's like, well, if that's the route you take, it only further goes to show the immaturity in the situation. Something needs to be matured, Pisces. Maybe, oh, that's what I that's what I was talking about earlier. When I was like the one thing like I'm the weakest that is the one thing that I've been avoiding. And at first I was like I want to do this so I get better. Like I even told them I was like I want to practice this so I can get better. Like can I come in just to practice this? And I didn't do it. And so now when I was put on the spot, I couldn't do it. And everybody was gone. Like it's fine. I'm just gonna have to make extra doubly sure to devote time to doing that. So, I can do everything else though. I didn't want to do it. I was like, if I could get away with not doing this, then that's what I'll do. And I've been getting away with not doing it until I couldn't not get away with doing and not doing it anymore. The whole situation was a mess. Anyway, see that Ouroboros energy, it reminds me of the ruler of wands and the Weaver Tarot. The Ouroboros and the Weaver Tarot is all about it. It reads as having our ego under control, but it's like self-control, self-restraint, integrity, a knowing of oneself. There's also like an accountability that we have instead of like finding somebody else to blame or everybody else to blame. Because again, not taking responsibility is not going to mature us in the situation. That's what I got for Pisces. Wow. Oof. Some of them were a little rough. Some of them were good. Some of them I'm just like, wait. And it's like there's nobody to blame but Pisces. So, but I'm sure you'll try. I mean, you don't have to try very hard. And I feel like that's that shadow of Pisces where people will be like, Pisces act like they don't know how to do anything. And so they always try to get other people to do it for them or something like that. And I would say not this Pisces, but I literally did that. So, and now it's biting me in the butt. It bit me. It bit me in the butt. Now I actually got to do the stuff. I know. I know. Anyway. And I feel like Pisces can be a little bit like, this doesn't match the vibe. This isn't what I thought it would be. This isn't how I envisioned it. This isn't how I dreamed it. And it's like, okay, well, this is the real world. Not everything is going to go the way you thought it would go. Are you like still going to do this or not? You just going to go home and cry about it? Okay, well, go cry. And while you're at home crying, you'll still be blocked. You still won't be able to push through. And then you'll cry some more and you'll still be here. Eventually some doing is gonna have to be done. Or you can keep crying about it. And a lot of Pisces will keep crying about it. So, you know. Like my whole thing, I was like, I'm not an Aries, I'm not a doer. Like I'm an envisioner. Until the universe was like, boy, if you don't get up and go somewhere. I was like, okay, fine, I'm moving. Oh, Pisces. Well, like you can't cry your way into this, and no one else can do this for you. So eventually you're going to make the decision to either continue to not do it, or you're going to continue to make the decision to not do it, or you're going to make the decision to. And like, it's not a big blockage. It's like, not at all. But there's some maturity that needs to happen. So you're probably being kept from this space for good reason. So now I'm going to put these back in the deck and I'm going to shuffle them and I'm going to get a final collective message. Support in 12th. Static needs. Excuse me. And I would go anywhere, anywhere. I love how the first three were like, oh my gosh, yes. And the last three were like, oh, wait. Collective. I'll take that one. Why not? Ooh. Ooh. We have Gar. Spirit potential. And at the bottom of the deck is Feyor. Fire, ether, life. With Fane, Weathercock, fluid behind that. 30 and 33. What? 30, 33. Or 33, 30. This is interesting. I think. There's a Gifu here. There's a Ganunga Gap here. They just moved. Excuse me. Spirit potential is interesting. I don't have any. I have a book here. I have Sabriel here. I'm going to open this book to a random page and read a random word and see if this is going to help me. Because I don't have a book for the runes. So, I do not know, replied Maggit. Your father thought so. It is him, Touchstone said, distantly. Karagor was Rogier's childhood nickname. I made it up on the day we had the mud fight. His full ceremonial name was Roderick Rogerick or Rogerick. He or his servants must have lured my father to Belisare just before he emerged from death. Sabriel thought aloud. I wonder why he came out into life so near the wall. His body must be near the wall. He would need to be close to it, Maggid said. You should know that, to renew the master's spell that prevents him from ever passing beyond the final gate. Yes, replied Sabriel, remembering the passages from the Book of the Dead. She shivered but suppressed it before it became a racking sob. Inside, she felt like screaming, crying. She wanted to flee back to Ansostir, cross the wall, leave the dead and magic behind, go as far as south as possible. But she quelled those feelings and said, an abortion defeated him once, and I can do so again. But first, we must find my father's body. There was silence for a moment, save for the wind in the canvas and the quiet hum of the rigging. Touchstone wiped his hand across his eyes and looked at Maggid. There is one thing I would like to ask. Who put my spirit in death and made my body the figurehead? I never knew what happened to you, replied Maggid. His green eyes met Touchstone's gaze, and it wasn't the cat who blinked. But it must have been Abhorsen. You were insane when we got you out of the reservoir, driven mad probably by the breaking of the great stones. No memory, nothing. It seems 200 years is not long for a rest cure. He must have seen something in you, or the Claire saw something in the ice. Ah, that was hard to say. We must be nearing the city, and the sea's influence lessens. The binding resumes. No, Maggid, exclaimed Sabriel. I want to know, I need to know who you are. What's your connection with the great? Her voice locked up in her throat, and a startled gargle was the only thing that came out. Too late, said Maggid. He started cleaning his fur, pink tongue darting out, bright color against white fur. Well, oof. So Sabriel ain't getting no answers, and I don't think I'm gonna get no answers either. But see, I guess like there is a little bit of an intersection of life and death with the black and the yellow. And then the purple is there, like forcing them together. Or it's like it's holding them in place so that they don't move. There's an energy here. It's like it's almost the energy of a sacrifice. It feels like something has to be sacrificed to keep these two together. But while this is keeping these two together, it can't come together and complete that Gunga Gap diamond. Maybe that's just like not a limitation, but it's like it's something to do with the body. The body is finite, but the soul, the consciousness is infinite. And when you put something infinite in something finite, something is lost. And we can have these brief moments where, because of some spell or some special circumstances, we get momentary sort of communication. But it's like when there was something, And it's interesting because so I'm assuming I haven't read this book, so I'm assuming Maga is a cat. Sabriel is this person. I guess she's looking for her father. I'm opening it up. Well, I did see I was on page 305. I did happen to glance at the page number, thankfully, because I had just opened the book. Because Maga said something about the great stones. And then that was hard to say. And then Sabriel, so like, what's your connection with the great? And then her voice locked up. So it's almost, it's like the nature of things that can't be spoken of. But then the question is why? Why can't they be spoken? And it's like, pick a reason. There are a lot of things that we can't speak to or that we don't speak to. And then a lot of things that we do. But there is an energy of opportunity here. Maybe but it doesn't feel long. It feels like just like that, from what I'm assuming. I don't know how long the cat was talking, but it's like it's a gift of limited communication. So it's almost like use your time wisely or use your questions wisely. And maybe the one thing that's hardest to speak of, you ask first, if you can get the words out, right? Mercury is retrograde. Go for it. It's like, yeah, Mercury is retrograde. That which is usually not spoken on, a lot of people are. That's how you get some people like, oh, I never said nothing, but you was always this or you was always that, or I've been feeling blah, 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 whatever. And it's like, okay, but you couldn't have said this before Mercury went retrograde because now I'm going to have to look at you out the corner of my eye like I got to look at everybody else. I'm kidding, obviously. But Mercury is retrograde. The planet of communication is it's stopping and it's going backwards. So it is a time for that which could not otherwise be spoken. It's a time for that to be spoken. So I mean, personally, I would say does it matter what I would say? Yeah, it's fine. Well, because it's not necessarily about like losing the ego, because the ego is a part of who we are. And that's why with like Pisces, like in the King of Wands, the ruler of Wands, and the Ouroboros, and the Weaver Tarot in particular, it's all about not sacrificing the ego to come into something higher. Because then you're just going to have to go back and find it and integrate it again. Or you live a life not half empty, but you live a partial life. more sensitive to the pieces and parts of ourselves that we cast aside. But a lot of people choose it, so you know. Anyway, that's what I got. I don't know what that was at the end. I wish there was a deck. I was like, give me something I can understand. But it's already been almost 2 hours, so this is not enough. So, with that, I hope you all have a good whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey, and or way, you find. I also hope that your path and journey will be what your path and journey is. I want to pull just one more. I don't think it's necessarily about protection either. I'd burst in to burst out and free. Oh, this is interesting. It's interesting because of the colors. See, that fire and ether life, that Feyor, it fills gaps. It's the desmosome. And it's almost like it's important for those gaps to be there. Because it's like a ligament, right? Or like an elbow or a finger. It's a place where the body can bend. If we have these fused solid bones, then, we'd be like this. We wouldn't be able to do much. We wouldn't have a lot of the flexibility and is utility or functionality. We wouldn't have a lot of functionality if everything were fused solid. So those ligaments, those gaps are important. But a lot of times we try to fill gaps, especially gaps in understanding for whatever reason. And what happens is we become overly rigid. And then we can't function in the way that we can't function in the way that we're supposed to in the natural world. The world naturally just almost demands flexibility, fluidity, versatility in a lot of things. And it's cardinal, fixed, mutable, seasonal, cycle, rhythmic function and movement. And it feels like a lot of us trying to come to terms with things and us trying to find our way in things or to trying to find stable ground. And a lot of that, we actually make ourselves even more rigid. Almost to the point where a wave will wash over you and you won't even be moved. Which is fine, I guess, when it's to not be moved, but when it is to be moved, then all of a sudden you don't have the flexibility that you need. And it's, I mean, because then you gotta like break bone to try to like introduce it, and it becomes a lot more painful. It's a lot more painful the second time around. Maybe just because the first time you thought you were doing something different and then you find out it wasn't. And you're like, what? But like, I already did this, I already did that. And it's like, yeah, but who told you to do that? Who told you to amputate yourself in those ways? Somebody, let me stop. I think a lot of what is linear becomes circular. And a lot of what isn't becomes the opposite too. But I think that's also a result of like it was. I think it was for Libra. It was that energy of like when we use a limited vocabulary to define our entire life and to define all of our interactions and relationships, rather than allowing our experiences, interactions, and relationships to expand our vocabulary. I don't know. All right, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.